listening to Objections with Stan Willis. I'm Michael Morris with Stan Willis, with Ashley Spangler, Starling, Willis, and attorneys.
Ashley.
No, I want to give her all the names because
the
if
names?
you go on her LinkedIn and these other things, she has multiple names. So I want to give her more names than she already has. Is that fair?
How many names do you have?
I have Rutherford in the middle, my maiden name.
See, I got confused because the first time I met you, and then I go and I look on one of your social media, and I'm like, I don't recognize that name, so I didn't think it was the same
It's
person.
my maiden name. It's just in the middle.
Are you thinking
A lot
about
of people
going
use
back
in
to
the
it?
middle.
You know what I mean? Because I got a diverse attorney. You know what I mean?
You got a diverse attorney?
Yeah. He's not very good.
What's a diverse attorney?
He's very good at a lot of things. He's not good at any of them.
Not good at diverse.
Yeah. But he's really racist. But that's not the point.
He's a racist diverse attorney.
Yeah. Yeah. But he spreads hatred throughout different people. That's what I mean.
Does he work for the Biden administration?
Sir, I'm not going to have you besmirch the good name of Jim Biden. Hey, guess what we did? We blew up a pipeline, speaking of Jim Biden.
I heard about the pipeline blowing up. I don't know how you can say we blow it up. Nobody knows for sure who blew it up.
Well, let's get into this because...
I think Ashley blew it up.
I didn't blow it up.
You were in
I
the
didn't even
Black
know
Sea. You
about
were in
it.
the
You didn't tell
region.
me about it. I wasn't even watching the news.
You were in the area
Oh,
when it
yeah.
happened.
you were on a cruise.
Nope, I was not on a cruise. I'm not going on the cruise
You know
yet.
what nobody knows about Ashley is she's got intense SEAL training. And,
Great.
And
That's me.
I
When
mean,
she's not poring over documents, she's planting bombs.
She's got freaking ninja skills. I mean, she's like Ziva on in CIA.
Wait a minute.
Did you almost-
She has ninja skills underwater or above water?
Either. I mean, both.
Okay, I didn't know those are two different things, if we were doing maritime law or not.
No, I mean, she's just got incredible ninja skills. Like, I wouldn't mess with her.
So you want to put on tape that she blew up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline?
No.
I'm fair with I'm fine. Let's
I
do
didn't
that.
Say that.
Nor do I have ninja skills.
You don't have ninja skills?
I don't. I have lots of cool
I'm
skills.
very
but not
disappointed.
ninja
See, you
skills.
lied on
I
your
don't.
resume because, that's why I hired you.
Because of my ninja skills?
Your ninja
That
skills.
would be amazing if that was number one. Graduated 40th in my class of 38
You want to
in
know
law.
what happened when I came in and I interviewed with Stan is that he said, "What do you want?" And I said, 100% autonomy. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. That's literally what I said to Stan, and he went, "Okay."
Did you even know she was a lawyer at that point? You're just like, yeah, just join the team.
Nah, she just walked in off the street, and I said, "Okay, we're hired."
Did you even find out if she was a lawyer before you hired her?
No,
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm just joking.
I love the firm has no rules.
So Phil Spangler, our other partner, and Ashley are like best friends from law school. That's how she came to us.
That's right. I forgot that story.
So
well,
there
now the
was-
audience knows.
So the first time that Ashley came in, that wasn't like we didn't,
Wasn't a
have some-
completely brand new person.
wasn't like
I like
we
that
didn't
right
have
off the
some
bat. She told
background.
you how she was going to be managed, which was, I'm not going to be managed at all.
I mean, at that point, I'd been practicing long enough to know that it would never work if somebody was going to micromanage me. And really, Stan doesn't want to micromanage anybody, and neither do I. We just don't really like that type of environment. It's not how we function at our law firm.
Yeah, it sounded like you tried, and the way Nate micromanages you, it's kind of
He does tell me where I have to sit and stop touching the microphone and things like
right,
that.
right.
He's very much. I'm like Zelensky, and he is Putin, and he's constantly picking on me. I've done nothing wrong. You okay over there? Okay. So
I think he's having. I've never seen a conniption, but that's probably what it looks like right there.
is that Russian for bombing? So I want to talk about this pipe thing because here's
Oh
the
my
scenario.
goodness. We've lost Falcon.
Gas right now. So if you're listening to this in 2027, after the world has blown up because of nuclear war, the gas price thing won't be shocking.
Did
But
you just say nuclear?
yeah,
It's nuclear.
that's what I said. Very diverse.
You
It doesn't matter how you say it. It'll lead to a divorce if you're not lucky.
Diverse, not
Yeah.
divorce.
Either way,
you can have a nuclear divorce.
both things cost money. So gas prices have risen back up to $4, and our fearless leader has decided that we are going to stay in until every Ukrainian is gone. Good for the Ukrainians. But this pipeline blowing up is being blamed on Russia, the thing that makes them billions of dollars. They were going to teach you a lesson by not pumping oil and gas into this thing so you can heat your home in Germany.
Right.
By the way, does anybody feel bad for the Germans? They don't have a good track record.
I don't even think the Germans feel bad for the Germans.
No. The bigger concern is I look at it from our point of view, not the other side, right? If all of Europe wants to jump into this orgy of death, fine. but it's how it's affecting us here at home. So the government is denying that our government is denying we had anything to do with it, as though we were like super surprised.
Right.
First of all, we are having conspiracy theories. At least you are. Do you think that Russia did that? Look at me. Don't look away.
Yes.
Don't look away like it's
You
not
are.
you.
It's
You
true.
are. It's not true.
It's so true.
It's not true.
It's
Ashley's-
100% true.
I know Ashley's answer. I plead the fifth because she doesn't want to go to prison for this show for being a traitor.
Okay.
Stanley, do you think that we blew up that pipeline?
I don't know.
That is such a lawyer answer.
It's a true answer. I don't know.
It is
It's
true
actually not
they
a
did
lawyer
it?
answer at all. The lawyer answer would always be, it depends.
It depends.
It depends.
So there's actually a guy named Tom Luongo has a great analysis of all this. Listening to him, and if you think about all the players in the thing, the activity, it's blowing up the pipeline is something that probably has to be a state actor. It probably is not something that two guys in a pickup truck are going to be able to pull off.
Depends what kind of truck.
Maybe you and Nate could pull it off, but
I don't know. We could blow up an underwater pipeline in a Chevy, but we could try.
we could try. But I mean, this thing's the descriptions of, it's a steel pipe that's encased in concrete. And, I mean, all that stuff just makes it sound like it's pretty hard to blow it up. Plus, it's at the bottom of the Black Sea, so
Stan, just say C. Jesus Christ.
it's called the Black Sea.
Oh, okay.
That's the name of it.
Oh, sure it is. We're very diverse. Go on.
And so it almost has to be a state actor. And so you look at, okay, well, who are the possibilities? You've got Russia is one person that people, or one of the actors that people have said that blew it up. Although, if you think about it, all Russia had to do was turn it off.
And it was already off.
So it'd be kind of silly for them to go out and blow up their own pipeline.
Right.
Right. Just to make a point. But maybe they did.
I'm not going to
right?
marry you. I'm going to blow up my own house
gonna
just so
blow
you
up
can't
my
move
house.
in. That's essentially what they did.
Then the other that I've heard suggested is the Ukraine. But it would seem kind of silly for Ukraine to blow up a pipeline that's going to hurt NATO, who is supplying them with all their stuff. So that doesn't make any sense either. Then in Europe you have a lot. Some people have actually suggested the Germans blew it up. That would seem kind of like suicide, but maybe they did. Right? Maybe they did.
Right.
And then you think about the U.S. doing that, but I mean that is an act of war against our NATO allies, so that would seem like an odd choice. So it's really an interesting situation. Now you have some wild cards. Some people thought maybe Iran or maybe Syria. I don't know. Some of those kind of make sense, but really don't make sense. Iran is a pretty close ally of Russia, so Syria doesn't make sense why they would do something to hurt the Russians. So I've heard people suggest that maybe the Chinese blew it up, but again,
Very sneaky people.
But the Chinese are kind of
Dicks.
allies with Russia at this point, so why would they attack a Russian pipeline?
And all of that, listen, there's a lot of different players in there, but
Right.
I will go back to in March when President Biden was doing one of the few little press conferences he's doing, and he said they'll shut down the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and a
Right.
reporter says, how are you going to shut it down? That pipeline
And he
belongs to
said-
Germany, and he said, we'll shut it
We'll
down.
shut it down.
So
And
I don't
so
know,
here's-
counselor, that seems pretty bad.
Here's the thing that kind of sticks out. You look at the who stands to benefit whose goals are being forwarded by destroying the Nord Stream. And you have the World Economic Forum, which has said on their freaking website that they want to destroy Europe and build back better. They want to destroy the entire system. They want to destroy the United States system, and they want to build back better. So you have one actor in all the ones that have been mentioned that actually has a stated purpose that would be benefited and furthered by doing all of this.
Ashley, does that make you feel very comforted as a woman that's married and has children? Are you looking forward to the dinners you'll make during the nuclear fallout?
No.
You keep saying nuclear.
I'm sorry, I meant to say nuclear. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. What's your take on this as just a person that's, you're busy, like all the time. So when you kind of peek in on this and you see the news, the state-sponsored news, do you look at this and go, oh, this is concerning to me, or gas prices are up and I'm pissed off?
I think all the above. It's concerning to me, and then generally gas prices, I think, piss off everybody right now.
Right.
And I don't think that we're going to see them go back down ever. So at the same time, I just begrudgingly just fill up my gas tank.
Do you think that it's any coincidence that OPEC is going to reduce their output by 2% at the time that this pipeline is being shut down, and now the U.S. is going to Venezuela to get oil reserves for us, but also we have promised Germany and the other European countries, if you stay on board, we'll provide you fuel. So we're going to get from Venezuela to give to somebody else. At what point are we like just raising a bunch of orphans here?
Well, you asking me or Ashley?
I'm asking both of you, and I want you to fight it out.
She got ninja skills, man. I'm afraid of Ashley.
That's a good point.
Honestly, I am.
Ashley, what do you think of that? I mean, if oil production, if we're not going to drill for it here, and
I think that's what we should do, quite frankly, is we should be drilling for it here. That's really the solution
Agreed.
to the problem.
But you're going to destroy the ozone and the green and all that other shit.
Did
Not
you see
necessarily.
I know.
Did you see the Biden administration has now doubled down on not only are they not granting new leases, but they're thinking of like they've pretty much terminated all offshore oil exploration.
Well, that's a good thing because everything that we
At the same
wear or
time-
drive is oil.
Right.
At the same time that they're going to Venezuela and begging for more oil, we're saying we're not going to drill for it anymore.
At the same time that we have all these sanctions against Venezuela, you do this, you're still under sanctions, but we need this because there'll be more sanctions if you don't.
Right.
Is this what people voted for, do you think? 81 million times?
It is apparently what 81 million people voted for.
What I want to know is, so if you go on Twitter, which
Can
is...
I just say about
Absolutely.
voting is generally why are we voting for people that are truly like our grandparents' age? Like, is there really nobody better? I mean, let's just be honest. Is there nobody better? I mean, like, this is what we had in the last election. We have two people who are basically senile. We have no better options. There, I said it. That's my opinion of politics.
Okay,
today.
so here's my question to
I agree
you.
with you, actually.
I mean,
When you look at how we elect people, it is big corporations are pouring money in.
right, yes.
There's no way that you can only have two people every single year since Lincoln. That's all we have to choose from. It is who's going to get on that stage and who's going to get on the ballot. You're not going to have a peace-loving president. You're not going to have anybody that cares about the United States anymore because the United States is a company. It's not a country. So your point is very valid, but where do we go from here? Because say you take everybody wants DeSantis to run. At some point, there's going to be a P tape on DeSantis, or they're going to want to, well, you know what I mean. That was the big thing, right?
I know what you mean.
So you can build a case to make people hate one person. That's all they've done with Donald Trump, right? Before that, the guy was winning NAACP awards, and I'm not saying I'm a Trump supporter. I'm just giving this example. Everything that they said Trump was going to do, Biden is doing and worse. But you still have people that support it just because it's not Donald Trump. You're going to run out of a bad guy. Putin is the only bad guy left in the world, right? Say he dies and whatever. What's your excuse to keep the war going? If he's really a bad guy, they never took him out. In all this time he's been in power, they never tried to take him out. We need bad guys in this world, so we have reasons to run candidates to do the bidding of the corporate donors. That's why I mean, they don't want the person to actually do anything. I think the problem was when Trump got in, he really thought that's a job and I'm supposed to do it. And they're like, no. You're just supposed to be the queen and we'll tell you what we're doing and you sign this
No, I think
bullshit.
that's absolutely true. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think one thing we need mandatory term limits in Congress.
I agree, but how are you going to get them out? That's the question.
That's the problem, right? Like, we need to get them all out.
We,
It's time.
the people, don't have any real
Why
power.
are they all completely loaded rich after being there for 30, 40, 50 years?
On a salary of $187,000.
Yeah, I wonder how that happens. Don't you ever wonder how that happens? You know,
Ashley,
like,
I'm not going to have you talk about the
I'm
stock
just
scandals.
saying.
I know if I made $180,000 a year for 20 years, I'd have $42 or $43 million.
Yeah, $43 million. You think that's a
If you invest in your 401k
Yes,
and you
right?
max it
Like-
out, you put $10,000 a year away, and you do it for 1,000 years compound interest, you'd have $40 million
Oh
too.
yeah, those government benefits, right? You know.
I'm not going to have
on,
you
guys.
talk about our government as though they're pigs and they shouldn't be there. Do you feel that we will ever know peace in our lifetime? I just mean not this country, because we all hate each other in this country. I just meant that we're not at war. We don't have a base.
Like not having war someplace in the world? No, I don't think
Well,
so.
when's the last time we haven't had a war going on? I'm sorry, an occupation.
1806 or something like that.
Go out those were the good times. You didn't get all those spam calls on your phone. It was a good time in 1806. It's all gone downhill.
I don't know. I just pulled a number out of out of the air.
I thought we were really talking about that year.
But well, I mean, you said there's essentially been a constant state of war since World War One, and there are people who basically will say that everything that's happened between 1910 and now is basically all the same war. Just
Well, it's all the same
fought
players, right?
ways,
You're not inventing new people. It's always Germany or Russia's fault. Can some of the fault be on us?
No, I mean we're completely innocent.
Nate, at this point, I just want an American flag rustling over the screen. I think we have to finally look at it and say that we are kind of the ones that are poking people with a stick.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of involvement in foreign battles that I think is somewhat questionable. And you know, I like Tulsi Gabbard and the anti-war
I do
kind
too.
of folks.
Not for the reason you like
see what
her.
I have to deal with.
I see.
Ashley,
You see what I
Tulsi
have to deal
Gabbard,
with.
1 to 10. Could she win a pageant?
I'm just.
I'm
out of this.
This isn't politics related. This is pageant related.
You're getting way farther down in
I'm not
politics
saying
than I'm
that
willing
she has
to
a
go.
talent like Baton or something, but she's got to be good. Maybe she could sing. Go on. You were making a point about.
Oh, apparently, something you said. Apparently, my Apple Podcast or Spotify believes that it needs to play something.
It needs to play.
No.
It needs to play the best of my girl Tulsi. Go on. You were making a
So
point.
anyway, Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war, and you know the anti-war folks never have any chance. They get pretty much drummed out of the election early on.
Why though? That's the part I can't understand. Like
because-
Because
nobody.
they come across as anti-military.
But I
But
think
now they called her. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They call her a communist and she's a Putin puppet because she does not want war.
Right.
That's what I find funny is you don't want American kids to go over and die somewhere. You don't want that, and you're called a communist for that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So think about where most of the money that the politicians have to play with and that goes into these campaign funds and stuff, most of that money comes from what Eisenhower called the military-industrial complex. So most of the money that supports all these politicians in both parties comes from Lockheed Martin and
BlackRock.
and some of these shadow banking industries and all these kinds of things. And so when you have somebody who comes in who is anti-war, which is of course going to at least reduce the amount of money that's flowing through that, then all of these people who are getting money from that immediately are going to be on the attack. And it was amazing to me how in the last election, if you watched what the candidates had to say when they were talking about when the major candidates in the Democratic Party were talking about each other, they were all very cordial except for with Tulsi Gabbard, and then they all sang the same song about her, right? They all sang that she was a Russian puppet and blah 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 blah. What's that tell you? These five, it's like Survivor, right? At that point, it's Survivor, and these five are on a team, and she's not,
and she couldn't get funding after that,
and they want to get her off the island, and that happens to any kind of anti-war person that comes in. So I don't think there's much hope for that. And so since I don't think there's much hope for there being an anti-war establishment in the United States, I don't think there's much hope for there not being a war somewhere.
So what do you see moving forward from this? Because if Germany's not able to heat their homes, you're going to have people that are just going to die from the cold snaps.
Europe's in trouble, and I think if you read now, I mean, since February or March, people have been the people on the fringes have been saying Europe's in trouble, but now people in the mainstream are saying Europe's in trouble. And it's going to be a tough winter for Europe. I think by the end of this year, you're going to be seeing. I mean, most people are predicting serious financial problems, serious problems with their food supply, serious problems with energy all over Europe, and that doesn't bode well for the governments. Right, because when you're short on food and energy, you tend to have people are harder to control. People.
Well, when all hope is lost, you're gonna have a riot.
Right.
Every day.
So Europe's in some trouble. What I can't tell and what I'm kind of trying to figure out is how much trouble the U.S. is in. As the U.S. may be in trouble. It's just really hard to tell right now, but Europe is definitely in trouble.
What an uplifting show. Ash, aren't you glad you came today?
I know, right? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm just...
Like, I looked over real quick as he was saying that, and it was almost like there was a tear
like a
about to roll.
single tear. I know, we're talking about all the things that are just so sad.
Do you want to say something nice before you leave? You just brought the whole room down. Do you want to say something? No, don't look at her for positivity. We're looking at you, Papa Bear. You got to say something nice.
She's the positive one.
What?
And she just said she's fine.
You call me positive. I am not positive.
Well, that's it.
And Marshall won last weekend, didn't he?
They
There you
yes,
go. That's
they-
positive.
well,
Marshall.
Do you see how she lifted up and then she was going to
They
say,
did forget a
but
little.
next week.
This
Listen.
is Trembling Herd. Go Trembling Herd.
On our way
Thundering
out,
Herd. Go Thundering Herd.
what I would say is stock up as much as you can. That's the Stan Willis way. We'll see you next week.